Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Overwatch Weekly podcast here with BobbyJ. I didn't butcher the intro this time. We've got episode 9, second episode of the year. We've got Project from Ancient Templar and number 2 power ranked now, this team. So hot off the heels of a couple of big CyberGamers, 3 wins back-to-back, just like the Fusion Girls did. I think you guys actually might have gotten 4. And speaking of Fusion Girls, we have Trill here as well. And then also Apathetic off the newly picked up team Jam Gaming. So I'll start off with you, Apathetic. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? Everything's pretty good, I'd say.
Excellent. Excellent. It better be good. We're living in Australia, mate. It's the best country in the world. And shout out to all you New Zealanders listening to the podcast. Project, what's going on, mate?
Just enjoying a good coffee with, my Overwatch mug here.
That mug looks huge. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, dude, it is. It's a great mug, honestly. It's got Reaper on the back as well. I don't play him. It was like down to this or a Widowmaker mug, and the girlfriend chose this one. So I was like, yeah, goodo.
Ronnie's shedding a tear right now.
Well, my dreams was for a Ronnie mug, but Spoonsel is the only one that I know of that's got a Ronnie mug.
Oh, I might have to give away another one really soon. But last but not least is, of course, Trill from the Fusion Girls. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling, playing ranked, trying to get my main back into top 500, but I literally can't. It's actually the biggest struggle.
Well, you could always play with your 6 stack of Fusion Girls, seeing as you're number 1.
That's like no points, man.
No points.
Yeah, you get like 2 points. It's a grind.
That's alright. It's 50 games, 100 points. You can eventually get it. But let's talk about CyberGamer right now. That's last Tuesday, so it's Thursday now. So 2 days ago, we had CyberGamer, 22 teams, so that's the record for us. And it was a bit of a nightmare to begin with because we didn't have the bracket set up for 22 teams on the overlay. And then Cyanide, aka Steve, was running around like a madman. Well, running around, it was on his computer, but in his mind, he was running around like a madman and trying to organize like, oh, holy shit, like I don't have the overlay ready for 22 teams, like what the fuck's going on? And we're like, okay, we'll just jump straight into the first game and then get that shit sorted. But it was good though. We got to see a lot of games, and even in the quarterfinals we had Jam v lesser skilled players, and then you guys moved on into the quarterfinals. Then Jam Gaming got knocked out by, I believe, Yes Men, who made it all the way into the final. So that's a new team that we'll talk about very shortly. So Yes Men had made it all the way into the final. And the other story was on the other end of the bracket with Masterminds, Tempo Storm, and Tree Men were all on one side of the other bracket. I know there's some other teams I'm forgetting. Masterminds and Tempo Storm had an awesome game in the semifinals that I casted, and it went all the way into Oasis. And we saw Masterminds use a similar setup, just like Fusion Girls with the Torbjorn and Symmetra setup that you call the Korean strats that RQT likes to talk about late night in the Love Shack Discord. So his beloved Korean strats, and it took them all the way into the finals, finally getting their first place victory up against the newly formed Yes Men with the pub star Huwoo. So Masterminds get to celebrate their CG victory, but there were some mishaps throughout the night. So the first one we'll talk about is you can see he's already smiling now. So Ancient Templar, you versus Soul Gravy Train, and I haven't heard of them. I think they might have been on previous CGs. So what happened in that game?
Basically, like Monday, it was also 40 degrees here, and then overnight it was 30 degrees. So we're coming into a second 40-degree day, and I basically just said to the boys, I said, look, there's a hot computer beside me. There's no way in hell I'm sitting through CG. Let's just throw this one so I can go, sit in the air-conditioned room. And the boys had my back gladly through the game. And
God.
But no, we played like absolute trash. So I think Wervo's got that super New Zealand net. He recorded it. And I think for the rest of the night, after I cooled off a bit and, recollected my thoughts, we sat down over the course of the 20-minute game of Kings Row, and I went through it for about 2.5 hours, just grilling them on every single mistake, myself included, that we made. And now we absolutely love Kings Row. The boys love to play Kings Row. It's their favourite map.
Well, you played it twice last night when I was casting your scrims, so
yeah.
you better love it. They were actually pretty close, though. They were pretty went right down to the wire in those scrims as well. But you'll be back next week anyway. But speaking of another team that was in CyberGamer, that's Jam Gaming. So, Apathetic, how do you feel your team went making it into the semi-finals?
Yeah, we had a pretty good run up until the semis. Sub-Zero was on Oasis. We feel like Oasis is a pretty good map for us. especially against like the lesser teams that probably don't have much practice. Lesser skilled players, which was on stream, was actually surprisingly easy. They have a lot of good players, and we kind of just rolled them when we probably shouldn't have. But I think it's just because they have they lack practice together. And then the big one, versus Huu's team, was extremely close on Eichenwald. It was difference between one push on third point, give or take. Could have gone either way. Lijiang Tower was a roll. We do pretty well at Koth now, and then surprisingly they're good at 2 CP, which we did not expect. They rolled us on Hanamura. That wasn't even close.
Doctor's listening to this right now. Project. He's writing down. Okay, ban 2 CP against Yes Men.
When is 2 CP not banned though?
Yeah, that's a good point. Unless they're versing Masterminds, they're not afraid to play some 2 CP. They love some Volsky industry. But so what are your thoughts on the Yes Men and their performance later on Apathetic?
It doesn't surprise me that they lost to Masterminds. From our scrims with Masterminds, they're really strong on Eichenwald. So the way Yes Men play is kind of exploitable if you know what they're going to do, where they just kind of get the Ana to pocket Huu pretty much the whole time. So it's exploitable if you play well enough, I think.
So kill Huu is basically the way to beat Yes Men.
Yeah.
So or the Ana, I suppose. But Fusion Girls haven't played in CG for a little bit. You guys have been busy scrimming Korean teams. So
Yeah.
How do you feel about the way that the ANZ scene is shaped up by the last couple of weeks without you participating in CyberGamer?
It's looking good, man. There's so many more new teams and stuff. Like, me and Ato all the time joke, like, I think secretly deep down, like, we want to play in it. Like, we're always like, let's play fucking CG this week and stuff. And then, like, of course, our cuties like, no, we got to scrim Koreans and stuff. So, yeah. It's, like, it's fun, like, versing Australians every now and then.
So you still...
Because if you, like...
When was the last time... I was going to say, when was the last time you scrimmed an ANZ team?
Wasn't it your team project?
Yeah, it was. I've forgotten the day, but yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. Like, you still learn stuff from them. I remember, who's your Templar? That guy did some pretty cool shit against us.
Oh, yeah.
On
Complete
Lijiang, like, yeah. Like, you know the bridge on Lijiang? I think, is it Garden?
Yeah, it's garden map.
Yeah. Like, you know the rock? Like, they capped it first. And you know that rock, like, when you're crossing the bridge? Like, he would charge into the rock before we, like, sort of came out. And I thought he, like, fucked up his charge, like, trying to get me. But he booped, like, 2 of us off at the time. And then we went there again, and he did it again. And then we realized he was actually doing it on purpose. He was, like, booping, like, 2 or 3 people off, like, every time with his charge. It was actually really sick.
And speaking of like other Reinhardt players, do you guys see that KS1 charge like over? It was on Oasis, one of the checkpoints. He was up above, and he charged the gap into the middle. I don't know the map names. Like Oasis is still so new to me, but I probably should know the map names. But
The map's so fun though. Holy shit.
do you know like the top section? It's like a top area. I don't know. No, it's not the one with the.
So with the
I think it's
jump
the one
pad?
with jump pad. Yeah, he like charged across into the center and then landed behind Tempo Storm and then hit down on Earth Shatter. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, damn, I gotta find that clip. Someone needs to post that shit in ANZ Overwatch. Maybe I'll just clip it. I've got the VODs on my computer, so I'll just clip it and throw it up. Maybe I should just make a YouTube video every week of like the best players from like all the current ANZ tournament players or whatever.
That'd be pretty sick.
Because I've got all the VODs sitting on my computer. I might as well cut them up. It wouldn't take too long because I remember the ones that excite me. Because I was just seeing him charge across and I was calling it as he's doing it. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, well, clearly I didn't say what the fuck, but I was like, oh my god, he's like going across the gap. And it's like, he's going to go land his Earth Shatter. He's got it sitting there and they didn't see him go across the top. And then he just landed behind them and he landed on like 5 people. And it was just all over then. And that was beast. So I love KS1. He's not one of those Reinhardt
KS1's
players.
actually a really good tank. I actually rate that guy.
So that was a big pickup for Masterminds. And when they got KS1 on their squad, it was only a matter of time and until the results were going to start coming through. So they're another one of those teams to look out for. So let's start talking about the teams to look out for. What you guys we've all got the power rankings to go off of as well. But let's all go one by one. Whoever wants to chime in first, just do so. So put up your hand and tell me who do you think are the top 3-4 teams in the region, and then give me like your thoughts on the up and coming teams, like the dark horses that are coming up through the scene. Now's the time to raise your hand. There's only one person with the camera up, but
I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know who number 1 is. We don't really need to go to that. And the thing is, you can't really put a top 4 in Oz at the moment. You have to put top 5.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 to 5 at the moment, anyone can take games off anyone.
Yeah.
It's extremely close. If we were doing the power rankings after CG now, I would still put Ancient Templar to second. You can't really hurt their rating based on a best of 1 loss.
Yep.
Best of 1s are very unfair. I'd put Masterminds up to 3rd after their win over Tempo. Moving Tempo to 4th and keeping us at 5th, but it's still extremely close. And if you want to qualify for top 4 for Heroes League, you've got to beat 2 out of those top 5 teams to do it. If you're an up and coming team, the up and coming team in the power rankings, I would see is Treeman. They have some really good players. They may not be known, but they are really good, and they showed that when they took that game off Tempo.
Yeah, Treeman have just they've been one of those teams that just showing up week after week. I've mentioned it plenty of times before, so there's no point going on and on about them. But it's a good way. It's like a good indication for other teams to do the same thing. They can just take note of what Treeman have done and just show up every week and just be willing to learn and keep grinding and take the losses on the chin. Eventually, you start seeing results. But we've got some other teams that are up and coming. So, you've got anyone else that you could rate as a dark horse? And do you agree with Apathetic's rating of the top 5?
Yeah, I completely agree with Apathetic. Like the 2 to 5 is like so close. Like anyone takes games off anyone there.
What about other dark horses, Trill?
That's the thing, man. Like I haven't watched enough CG and stuff to like tell who's good, like who's performing really well, or who his team looks good.
Yes, that's another potential team, and I don't. Well, lesser skilled players are probably disbanded, so I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that here. I think it's just like public knowledge now, anyway, amongst all the teams. So it's unfortunate for them. So that's another opportunity for a different team to try and get up there, get into that 6th position and beyond. So I'd probably rate Treemen as number 6, and then Yes Men probably 7th with Eben and. There's a couple of other teams that I'm drawing a blank on now. It's probably no good thing that I'm drawing a blank. Do you know who are the other teams that are in the top 10?
You got WM1.
Yeah, Eben, Boons Goons.
Yeah.
Boons Goons, that's the one. It's escaping the brain.
Boons Goons.
They picked up Slids now as well. So Slids is playing with Boone. So they're back on the same
Rain,
squad. Yeah. So,
Pandy and Fresh.
it's not
That's
a bad
not bad,
lineup.
man.
So they've had tough brackets. I think they versed Masterminds last week first up, and then this week they versed Yes Men up first. So
Was Yes Men's bracket like easy? Because I actually didn't expect them to get like that far.
Well,
Thought Jam would take it.
It should have been Ancient Templar. They should have gone up against Ancient Templar, but because they lost to Soul Gravy Train, which isn't, they've got Yes Clip and Psycho, so they have good players.
Wait, who's in that team? The one that you're talking about now?
I'm not 100% sure on the others, but there's Yes Clip and Psycho, and
I know
I think
them too.
Blind.
Don't know who Blind is. I know Yes Clip and Psycho.
Yeah, and you can't underrate those players.
Yeah, best of 1 suck though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Everyone gets on edge, man, like...
Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the safest bet? When you're going to do a veto of a best of 1, what do you guys usually try and aim for?
Our team would be Payload for sure.
Yeah,
Or Cloth if it's like a weaker team.
like a jib, the longest possible map you can have. Gibraltar, what's it, like 10 minutes aside?
So, what about King's Row? Like King's Row, everyone seems pretty favourable on. It's like the neutral map almost.
Yeah, but the problem with King's Row is like it's kind of the Dust 2 of Overwatch.
Yeah.
So everybody has practice on it. So if you're picking Kings, you have to feel really good about your practice because a lot of other teams have practice on it as well.
And before we move on to talking about other teams and the history of Abyss and then even Trill's entry into Fusion Girls, aka the old Jam Gaming. Let's Apathetic, just go over the Apex finals and project. I think you're mentioning as well that you watched them. So you both just go over the Apex finals for me and hash it out for anyone listening to the podcast that hasn't watched the finals.
Oh, it wasn't actually the Apex finals. They've just started the season 2, and they're in group stages at the moment. So in Group A, we had Envious go up against MVP Infinity. In that match, Envious went down 0-2, and then Envious brought it back 3-2. Envious lost on Elos and Anubis, and they got smashed pretty hard on Anubis. It was quite depressing, but they managed to bring it back.
Was that the one with the King's Row attack? And Tamu hooks the Genji that's nano boosted on his dash up into the air.
Oh, actually, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, that hook.
That was sick. Yeah.
It's one shot after the fact.
The only other match in Apex been played is LW Blue versus Misfits, and Misfits got smashed pretty hefty on WATCHPOINT, Gibraltar, and Volskaya. But they took Hollywood, so...
They're playing again next Tuesday?
The next match is on the 24th, yeah, so next Tuesday.
So, Rip, that's like every time CyberGamer is on. We've got to change this to Wednesdays, boys.
We do have games in tomorrow for Group C and Group D.
Ooh. Well, I've got tomorrow off, so I'm going to be watching that. So I can finally catch up. I probably won't even get a chance to watch the VODs tonight. But we'll get on to Apex. So definitely next week on the podcast, we'll definitely dip into more Apex stuff and get more in depth of that when I have more of a knowledge on it, because I haven't watched the start of this season. Because clearly I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, because I said who won the finals. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, I've been carried in competitive queue, and now I'm getting carried through my own podcast. So
Misfits run triple DPS literally all their games.
I think they did. I didn't actually see them.
Run a lot of triple DPS, I think.
Don't mention that, because RQD will probably pick up Symmetra and run that as triple DPS.
Oh god.
But okay, let's start.
This is great.
Let's talk about
my clip
which
where I was playing on the US servers. I was playing Symmetra on Hanamura, and my teleport got bombed by a tracer. And so then I built up the beam, and there was a Roadhog healing. And within 3 seconds, I built up another Symmetra teleport, and my team's just like, what just happened, man? Double TP within 15 seconds. It was great.
Yeah, I was seeing that clip. That was pretty funny.
Well, I keep seeing GNB TV on Gumbuzz channel come up on ANZ Overwatch by the bot. How does that happen?
He botted hard. I think local did it for him, because there was a clip of him just botting hard on an AFK Genji. You couldn't kill him, and the Genji kills him, and then just says question mark in chat. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to check those out. I need to figure out how that works, because
I've got some bot clips though. I'm so glad no one's seen mine. Holy shit, there's some of me going around. That's so bad.
So what do you do to get that to appear? Do you type in something bot?
Exclamation mark GNB. I
GNB,
think is the command.
And what, a bot clip comes up with anything? Oh.
Yeah.
It's just that one clip. His one clip.
The other one's exclamation mark Cindy, and it brings up Loser Fruit declining his friend request.
Poor Cindy, man.
Oh my god.
He tried though. Good on him.
Oh, I love that kid.
Cindy's a homie.
What did he say? Did he just take it on the chin?
It's just on a stream, so I don't know if there was any chat, but
he just laughed about it. It's pretty funny.
Well, I got to claim the fame. I actually beta while she was streaming, and I wasn't even being boosted. So it was all BobbyJ just playing. I don't even know what I was just playing Soldier 76, and I made it my duty to try and take her out every single fight. So it worked. She was playing Zarya, so she couldn't get off her Graviton. So rip. Anyway, that's enough of Loser Fruit talk. Anyway. Let's talk about Abyss, and you originally started in Abyss, Apathetic, and we were mentioning before, so you said No Reason Gaming is where it started. When was your entry into Abyss?
Okay, so I started the team for no reason at the start of Overwatch. It was just a group of friends, and we did pretty well in Heroes League. We were 4 weeks into Heroes League, and I think we were 3-1. Our only loss being to Chiefs, and at that
Acceptable.
point we kind of hit a wall with improving as players, and you get to that period where you play with friends and they just don't want to play anymore. So I
Yeah.
kind of lost the whole team except me. None of those guys played today at all. So I went to what at the time was called Kurs.
I
the
remember
team
this.
Yeah. So I went to Kurs. They were 5 looking for a DPS, and I said, well, I've got this spot in Heroes League. 2 weeks remaining. If we want a trial, we can go into a team. And then we got picked up. I think before that though, we weren't qualified yet, so we had to forfeit the 5th week to Quentium, and then we had to play. At the time was Jam, which was Jimeb and Co. I can't remember the full lineup.
Peels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peels.
yeah. And that was like our breakthrough game where we lost Hollywood by like 30 seconds, like 9 minutes to 9 minutes 30. And that's when we're still using stopwatch in competitive. And then we came out on Lijiang Tower and we won that pretty convincingly. I think it was 2-0 or 3-0. And that qualified us. And if we actually won both games, we would have knocked Jam out of Heroes League at the time.
That would have been a pretty crazy story.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super close. And then because of that, we ended up getting picked up by Abyss. Stayed with Abyss for about 4 to 5 months, and that kind of had a similar deal where some of them were friends, and obviously you still see a lot of those guys still play, but we kind of went our separate ways, and I got picked up by Sky 5 because they were looking for a DPS because Soundwaves left to go join Alter Ego.
Yep.
And then we saw that Jam was available, and we got picked up by Jam, and here we are.
Well, before you do that though, because speaking of other Abyss members going their separate ways, you've got one right here. So you had projects in the team. So originally you'd say started off as a substitute player. Now he's a star in another team. So how come he wasn't on the starting lineup? And what happened having him as a sub, and then him departing into Ancient Templar as well?
Right, so Project, we're actually looking for a sub just to play with us in, I think it was Heroes League and CGs, because we often had Spoons who was New Zealand and some others that couldn't make it to some scrims. Project I found just playing comp, and he was a really good player, so I asked him to sub for us. He had no competitive experience before that, so I felt like that was a good way for him to get comp experience, and look where he is now. He's on the second best team in Australia.
Man.
Yeah, I think it was randomly Apathetic was playing Widow, I think. This was back in Season 2, or it may have even been Season 1, and he just kicked the shit out of me and my friend Maple Mage that were killing back then. And so then Maple had this habit of like just adding people to either Q-dodge them or just like invite them, they go around as a stack. And I think at the time, because I think it was Spoons I think it was an ESL Sunday thing, Spoons couldn't play in it. And of course, he plays Reaper and Roadhog back in those days, and that's exactly what Maple played. But I think Maple turned him down because he had some Super Smash Brothers or something. And so then Apathetic's like, "Oh, do you have anything going on tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, yeah, I'll rock up to this here tournament you got going on." Absolutely no competitive experience in my life. It was a complete disaster as well from my end. That was back in like the days I had like a 1,000,000 DPI mouse, a 60 hertz monitor. I took McCree off Apathetic and just sandbagged the crap out of those games. Didn't say an utter word, and I was just like, "Oh God, just let this end." And then at the end of it, I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm just gonna say, thanks for the experience. It was wonderful knowing you guys." And then out of nowhere, they're like, "Oh, do you want to come be a sub?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, maybe that'll work out." And just by the sheer virtue of getting able to play a bit more and more each time, I got just those increments better. And that was like the most experience being their sub that I'd ever gotten in like the competitive scene. So without that, I probably wouldn't have even ventured and talked to Doctor. So yeah.
The old Doc. And you've got some more players that come from Abyss, so that's Spoons. he found his way
Yeah,
against Templar as well.
after Abyss, they all went their separate ways. We constantly queued up because that's basically who I queue into season or in the season with. And then me and Spoons, he was like, yeah, I'm just kind of like doing my own thing now. So, oh yeah, that's cool, man. And we sort of just queued for ages and ages and ages. And I kept in contact with Saf. I think Sweet Soda went and played Battlefield 1, or he just disappeared for a little bit. But I kept in touch with both the guys. And then randomly he's like, oh, do you want to be in a team? And I'm like, oh, it depends with who, with what. And then I joined a Discord, and it was this I recognized Doctor's voice from like the casting. I had absolutely no idea who Doctor was, if he was a big wig or if he was some nobody. He's like, oh, do you want to form a team? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll hear him out and trial for his team. And then and then that was me, Saf, Spoons, and of course we got Wuvo, who I'd heard was like a boosted animal. So I was like, oh fuck, this is going to be a complete disaster. And you've got three guys I know, and you've got this British nobody called Sparky. You've got Flake, who I think was in a couple teams actually before. Yeah. And you've got Wuvo, so I was like, oh, this is going to be a complete disaster, just a complete clown fiesta. And then lo and behold, we give it a month, and now we're here.
So the Clown Fiesta's still rolling on. The party hasn't stopped, mate.
Pretty much, yeah. We're all learning pretty much still. So yeah, Sparky's had to tone in his Reinhardt a lot, and because Wuvo was he played a lot of pub. He was like the same as ours was when I first started subbing for Abyss, where you just don't say anything and just expect things to happen. So it's been a lot of getting people to calm, start doing all this and that, and it's actually been working out for us.
Well,
with Doctor's guidance, of course.
Yeah, he's got another team on the way. It's the old Nut Factory. So straight from the testicles. So 6 new players giving birth to another team in the scene. Shout out to you, Dr. Nutter. And so that's with your Jam Gaming now. So speaking of the previous Jam Gaming, aka Fusion Girls now. So you guys are number 1. You're screaming Korean teams. You're all over the place. When's the org pickup coming? What's going on there, Trill?
I don't know, man. It's like, I don't even worry about that stuff, dude. I just play the game and let, like, our cutie, Gumber, and Serenity handle all that. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
So, well, we'll talk about something that you do know what's going on with, is how did you end up jumping onto that team? Because when they were thinking about picking up, well, you were originally on Kicked or Be Kicked, so...
Yeah, I was on Big before that, and then...
Yep.
Some shit went down in Big, and we were like sort of splitting up. We didn't have like a core 6, and like during that time, Gumba messaged me, asking me if I wanted to play for his team. So I was like, yeah, may as well leave this team because it's not going anywhere. And then we got picked up by Jam. Well, me and Gumba left that team to go join Jam.
So how that, like, when you were playing on Big, so how did you start off in the competitive scene? What was the first experience you had?
What was it? I think it was Heroes League game. I don't know what it was. Like, I can't remember, honestly. I just played Genji all day, and that's all I did, and just played with this team. And I carried really hard on the first game, and then I don't know, like, played Genji, and that's it.
So you and D-Field were on the same team in Kick or Be Kicked. He was a Genji player as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So how'd
he
you
was
sort
like the
that
hit
out?
scan player.
Oh, so you play hit scan. Okay.
I think our team thought I was the better Genji, but he was better at hit scan, so it like works out anyway.
So then you move across with the infamous roster kill swap death fiasco in the spring series. There. So with you and Gumbo going across to Jam, and then Cantus floating in the abyss until Skyfire found him lurking in space.
I feel bad for our other teammates, man. We like binned them so hard, just like left them.
Is it okay?
Just like left them like mid-season, whatever it was.
So Cantus was another player. And there's D-Field didn't end up joining another team.
Cindy was on that as well.
Yeah. So Cindy's still.
Who was on that? It's like
there's one more player.
Oh, and Elim.
Oh yeah. So
Elim
pretty much everyone's found their way onto another team besides Old Faithful Cindy. Hopefully he finds a team shortly. He's definitely a solid pickup for any team that's looking for a tank player. He can pretty much play them all. But now that when you switched to Fusion Girls and everyone knew you as the Genji player, and then when I heard like someone say Trill's playing tank, I was like, fuck off, like Trill's not playing tank.
Yeah.
So how'd that happen?
Well, at the start, because we were playing as 6, and then we had Gumber on tank, and I was still on DPS. And, like, to be honest, like, our scrim results weren't as good as we wanted them to be, like, as that lineup with Dozer and stuff. Then Dozer quit, or, like, stopped playing. So then we were like, oh, we moved Gumber to support, and we find a tank. But it took us so long to find a tank, and we didn't have, like, anyone on mind. Then we played with, like, Mosh on the ESL, and we won that. And then, like, after that, we had to find a tank. So we're like, oh, who do we get? There's, like, no free agent tanks that are good. So I sort of suggested to my team, I was like, hey, like, I think I could learn tank pretty quickly. Like, it's pretty much all decision making. So I was like, oh, if we find a DPS, since they're easier to find, I'll just play tank. See how it goes. And everyone, like, knew Eat, like me and Atar did. Yeah. And we knew he was, like, insane at hit scan. So, like, if we can get this guy, I'll definitely play tank, because in my opinion, they're both better DPS than me, so I'm fine to play tank for them. And then played tank for a little bit, and I was pretty shit at it at the start, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, I picked it up pretty quick, I think.
So, you know, everything's all pretty much smooth sailing. Well, at least from our point of my point of view anyway, that you guys look like you're doing pretty well for yourselves. So... He's mentioned RQT has mentioned multiple times to me. I think he's even said it on the podcast. He's like he wouldn't change anything with the lineup of the team, except now you have Huss playing for you for Heroes League.
Yeah, because Atar has CO. I think he left yesterday or today or something to India for a month with his family, so needed to play with somebody and found Huss, who's a really good player, plays everything. He's got a really sick Roadhog, so we just play like a Roadhog a lot now. And
so he's meshed with the team pretty well.
Yeah, we get along with him. He's a cool dude.
So, you know, higher hopes for you guys and Huss. It's going to be interesting though when Atar comes back. What do you guys think you're going to do when there's like Huss and Atar? Imagine if like Huss he goes crazy in Heroes League. He's getting 4Ks every game. He's just like MVP of Heroes League, and then Atar comes back. He's like, "Oh, sup guys? I'm back from India. I'm ready to start playing again."
Like you do, just be like, "Yeah, see ya. Get back in the bin."
Oh.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. Like, he wouldn't. Like, we always joke about it. We're like, yeah, see ya, you're gone. You're not coming back to the team. Yeah, but like, I don't think Arcade would ever kick anyone from this team, actually.
So would you just have the 7?
I don't know, actually. Yeah. Like, I feel like Huss would want his own team, though. Like, it's weird. So I think 8, like, because he is a sub, like, he's not permanent, obviously. But, yeah. I don't know.
Well... You know, either way, it's going to look good for him playing on your team. If he has a really good season with Heroes League, which starts very soon. But before we do that, let's talk about the Yes Men. So they're basically a bunch of pub stars, is the way I've seen it. I haven't seen them play in too many other teams, and they've got the god everyone refers to of Huwu, the guy that you want to dodge in competitive queue. So, how do you guys feel about the Yes Men, and how do you see them performing in Heroes League?
Well, I've played with Rek for a little bit, so he's a pretty solid tank player. Of course, you got Huwu, and you can't really dodge Huwu because you just don't know what account he's on. He could be on the account, he could be on your account for all you know. That's just the kind of guy he is. But yeah, they're two really solid members. I think Rek would take more of a leader role because he's probably a bit older than Huwu anyway.
Is he a sub though? I thought he was a sub.
No idea.
I don't actually know. I don't even know who was on that lineup. I just know like Will1, whatever his name is, and Huwu.
Yeah, his name's Switch. Will1 is just Yes, isn't it?
Yes, now, yeah. That's like his Smurf, but I don't know if he's like maining that account now or something. I don't know.
Okay. Sorry for cutting you off. Continue.
Oh, I had no idea who Yes was. I just know he was that guy you queued with, and he would sometimes say yes with his
yeah, that's all he
voice,
said.
Yeah. Oh, like his voice distortion headset, so it makes him sound like God, and he just says yes.
Fucking role players, man.
Yeah.
Well, does he just keep saying like yes? Yeah, he
goes yes, but he's got like a headset or something that modulates his voice, so it sounds like a really deep God's voice sort of deal. So that's all he just says. It's like it echoes for like 5 seconds or something after the fact. It's great. But we maybe had a chance. I think we were on the same bracket on them on CG. So if we didn't completely screw the pooch, we would have got to verse them. And we haven't scrimmed them yet. So I can only speculate at the team at this point.
There's no
I think they'll do well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna plug you guys watch my Twitch stream tonight when I've got Yes Man on for 2 matches back to back. But this is probably going to come out. Wait, no, it's probably actually might come out before the Twitch stream. But by the time that gets through to this in this part of the podcast, unless everyone's skipped to the fucking back, then or to like skip through and try and hear their team names. Man. Oh yeah,
everyone just wants to hear about who.
People might be searching for their own team names, their own names, like just going from like minute to minute to minute to minute. Just if they get mentioned, if they got name dropped, or if we're talking shit about someone.
God knows that's what I do.
So, fuck you, Squizzy. No, bless you. Got the I unbanned you, so you can stop asking now. You can the unbanning has happened on your CyberGamer Discord, which I didn't even know until apparently it was banned on the CyberGamer Discord for some reason, just because
he's being himself probably.
Yeah, but you know he's harmless. You're a harmless man.
Yeah, he is. No.
Just keep yourself in check a little bit, mate. I still love you. Just don't get yourself banned anywhere else, because I don't want to be chasing up during a stream to get you unbanned. I really don't. Like I've got to do other things, like actually cast and put things on the screen. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on from Squizzy and let's think about the patch notes, because that's going to come through before Heroes League. You're on 3 separate teams. How do you guys feel about patch notes coming in before Heroes League? Someone put their hand up.
Oh,
if it gets rid of Diva, I'm fucking happy.
Yeah, I think you won't see Diva as a insta-lock anymore, but I think that's probably the only change, depending on how well Roadhog players adapt to Roadhog's hook. If he's now one-shotting Zaya's, then we're in for some trouble.
Yeah, that sounds so insane. One-shotting Zarya is like...
Yeah. That would be nutty. And it might even be a buff to Roadhog. Like, you'll be able to get the little squishies every time, but if you can, pull a Ryan in and you're doing 400, 500 damage a shot to Ryan, it's almost an insta-death.
They have to change that before it goes to live, yeah? Surely.
That's actually pretty insane. Like,
That's pretty fucked up. That's the case.
Just don't get hooked, I
haven't tried it.
Just gotta play around hook.
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't one-shot you or hook. Unless you're a tracer. It shouldn't one-shot you. You should have a little bit of health left. A little bit of health.
There's scatter shot of Hanzo that's 375 before the scatters hit you, so they're a big fan of one-shot mechanics in some
you can one-shot Zarya with scatter. Yeah. That shit's good.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So 375. Has anyone seen that?
On Zarya. I think it's something like that.
Okay. Have you guys been in a game?
5 scatter.
Have you guys been in a game, in a competitive, proper tournament game where someone's scatter shot a Zarya and kill them?
Not a tournament game. I do it all the time in ranked and stuff. I love playing.
I was actually in a moment in the CG on Tuesday where they were running Hanzo, and they were running who's the fellow that slept out the disc? Oh, Zenyatta. And I got slept, and I'm screaming, absolutely screaming to Sparky, for the love of God, put the Reinhardt shield in front of you. And he's like, no, mate, it's all right. I won't do that. And I'm like, it's fucking 375 damage plus 30. And he's just like, no, mate, you'll be fine. Just shake it off. Just walk it off. So luckily I didn't actually get scattershotted. Otherwise, I would have kicked him. Just straight up, would have said, just kick this guy. He was fucking brutal.
You've been on the next flight to the Philippines, ready with a machete.
Yeah, mate. It would have been a lot longer than 2.5 hours of VOD review, I'll tell you that much. There would have been a math lesson in there as well.
You would have been imprisoned in the Philippines and probably never getting out of the country. I imagine their laws are pretty strict over there. That's the general gist of things in Asia, yeah?
Yeah.
Break the law, will break you, sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with Overwatch. So, let's talk about a little bit more about Heroes League then. So, 10K tournament starting up pretty soon. What do you got? What are your thoughts on the 10K prize money, and then what would you want to see from future events as well?
I think the biggest thing is it it being in New Zealand makes it a lot harder for them, I think, because all the extra money they have to fork out to fly people over makes they probably hurts their bottom line on like prize pools and stuff like that. But I mean, it's great that we have it. So, I mean, if it's the best we have at the moment, then sure, that's more than enough. Like they're doing a great job as it is. But there's some challenges they're going to face with it being in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Especially like, what if one of these lesser teams, like some no-name team comes up, and they wouldn't know that they qualify till the third. If one of those players doesn't have a passport, and is from Australia, they can't fly. Like, what happens then? There's some troubles ahead, I think.
Do you know what? There's one team right now that I just remembered that are coming back, and they were pretty good for their time when they were playing, when they were active.
What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of Aftermind. Are you thinking of Aftermind?
Yeah.
So, how do you guys feel about Aftermind coming back?
I'm not
They haven't
too
played the
worried.
game in months, right? Like ages.
Please no.
They were pretty good back when they played, but
They were.
I don't know.
When I was the first game I played for Abyss, that was when the dive strat was really popular, and they had Chronic X on Genji. I forget. I think it was maybe even D-Field on the Tracer. And so this is my first foray into it again, and I'm versing those guys, getting absolutely dumpstered as McCree. Things are going terribly wrong, and I'm just like, oh shit. And then I see these guys are coming back for Heroes League, so I'm like, hopefully second time around it's a bit better. But yeah, they gave us a dumpstering.
I think they're gonna struggle with tank meta. Like they had.
Yeah, I agree. They were only really good at dive comp, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
They had good DPS players, but the game's completely different in tank meta.
Oh yeah,
It's
for sure.
insane. Even when Anna was meta, they were running Zen Lucio, and now she's like 100%, almost 100% pick rate. So they will struggle even more, I think, until they need to scrim a lot to catch up. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think Anna's still going to be picked, though, with the changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
They didn't nerf reduced healing, which was a huge error, I think, in terms of Anna's strength.
So do you
That's my opinion anyway.
you still think tanks will be heavily played?
I think
I
we see
still
like 3-1.
three tank is still good.
Yeah.
It's still really good.
You won't see
It'll
it.
just be
Quad tank anymore.
maybe.
Quad tank is already. I don't really rate quad tank. It's already pretty shit, I think.
So do you see 2 DPSs though being a thing though?
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's more room for it, I think. You can't definitively say, it's bound to be 2 DPS now. I think it's just a case of there'll be a bit more wiggle room where because you don't have to pick up a Diva and because Zarya Roadhog won't be as favoured, you can now get, Diva won't be as favoured, so you've just got this more room to allow those characters in. So instead of them all the tanks going to the bin, it's just a case of you're bringing the DPS sort of onto their level. So I think you could just experiment. It'll just be a case of see what shakes out. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just you can just pick things and it'll work out more often than just straying away from 3 tank just is very painful at the moment.
What say when the new patch comes in already? What heroes can you say are in the bin straight away?
Probably Diva.
Reaper.
So it's 2.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Reaper's already in the bin now.
Yeah, Reaper didn't get touched, and I'm not sure why.
Who else do you think's in the
No,
bin?
I think if Diva gets dropped, you might see a bit more Reaper.
Yeah,
that is true actually.
Mercy.
I see that. Still in the bin. Unless you're who was playing it the other night on CG? There was a pharmacy combo.
Masterminds.
Yeah, they played a little bit. Oh yeah, Aaron loves his Mercy.
All the heroes picked now are still probably gonna get picked.
Yeah.
Maybe you see more Tracer Genji.
Yeah, so Genji's still.
Because Lunatic High, when we versed them, all they did on Koth versus us was 2-2-2.
I remember those days of. I think I might have reminisced on this in the last podcast was the 2 Winston, 2 Tracer, 2 Lucio. God, that was.
Oh
terrible.
God, no.
God, why? When they were making this game and they were like, okay, there's not going to be any hero limit. What were they thinking? What was going through their brain at that time? They're like, yeah, people can just pick whatever the fuck they want.
It's just Blizzard things, man. It's just Blizzard things. Why was Coin Flip a thing?
Yeah.
It's just Jeff Kaplan having just a fucking troll. He just doesn't give a fuck at the start.
It's pretty depressing though, playing 2 CP and drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still Fuck coin flip.
Yeah, it's definitely come a long way now. There still needs to be some tweaks in the game, especially like with the spectator mode, like us dealing with the ridiculous camera. Like it's painful.
I think they really need to just. I always say this. I wouldn't mind them going the way of Dota 2 and turning into like a huge spectator sport, just like getting completely behind it, allowing people to watch random matches, allowing them to just watch random pro matches, stuff like that. Just involving the general community of Overwatch the same way that Dota does, where if you boot up Dota 2 on the front page, hey, here's all these games you can watch, you can buy all this stuff, watch all these tournaments, just go at it. Whereas Overwatch, it's really, you have to sort of seek it out if you want to do that. So I really want to see him push towards that, because I think that's just what's needed, really, to give it a kick up the arse for more high-level competitive stuff.
I'm going to bring out like spectator and ranked as well. That'd be cool, like being able to spectate ranked games.
Yeah. With like a couple of minute delay.
Yeah.
Or
like being able to spectate that one, like whoever you want to see
just
live.
It'd be way better that way.
Yeah, the locked camera view, so you can only go through the teammates.
They're going to have to do something before the Heroes League. Oh, not Heroes League. Before the Overwatch League starts, because they're investing a ridiculous amount of money. This big plan that they've got happening. So they got to be doing. They're not this Blizzard. They're not going to invest all this money, then not try and take it to its full potential. Do you see? What do you think will happen to the game once Blizzard start? Start becoming more active with their leagues. What changes do you see happening to the game itself?
It'll take off. Like at the moment, it's kind of in that sort of. I almost want to call it a niche thing. I don't know. As a Dota
in the underground right now.
It's very like like we even just seen like who's watched Apex out of the four of us, stuff like that. Whereas it's like you could boot up the client, it was in client stuff like that, and even just like as a Dota 2 player, I came from Dota 2. It's like that compendium shit they bring out every year that everyone just like absolutely loves to buy. $2.50 goes to the players. $7.50 goes to Valve, or goes covers their costs and stuff like that. So out of like $2.50 generating like $20 million.
They would make so much money.
$7.50 times that amount went to Valve, and it's just like Jesus. Blizzard just. I'd be frothing at the mouth for the opportunity to do something like that. I mean, I'd be buying my little Overwatch book telling me all about the players, and I can put little stickers in it and all this sort of crap that you can do in Dota 2.
That was so good, actually. You get like loot and stuff.
Someone just needs to find Jeff, and just wait for him on the street, just grab him, just shake. What are you doing? Wake up! You're wasting our time. Fuck.
All about the Jeff Kaplan cut up meme videos. That's the dankest shit.
Oh, they're so good.
Oh my god, yeah, that is fucking hilarious. There's a new one out for the latest? Because the new video for Jeff Kaplan just came out. Have they done?
I assume it takes a while though, because he literally has to sit there making words just from shit.
I don't know if he peaked.
It's such effort, man.
Symmetra's now scream high noon every 30 seconds or something. Or when you pick Hanzo, your competitive rating goes to 0 and your computer goes to 5. Oh, it's great.
That guy's a gem. Holy fuck. So, yeah, what do you guys see with the Overwatch League? What do you guys expect from it? What do you see happening? With the Combine? What are your thoughts? What are your predictions of how it's all going to work?
We need more information, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see if there is a Combine, and you consider Australian and New Zealand players, how are some of these people going to get to wherever it is? Say they host it in Sydney. What about the Perth players, me and Trill, WA players, me and Trill? What are we going to do? Are we going to have to fork out our own flights there to potentially get picked? That seems a bit bizarre to me and almost unfair. I know somebody mentioned that it's probably only 1 or 2 teams from the first year from Oceania. Which, what happens to the other teams? Are we just left behind competing against ourselves? Doesn't seem very fair.
We're all going to be sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
We need a lot more info. Like I said, I've only seen the Crusher 99 video, which tells a great story, don't get me wrong. I'm behind Crusher all the way. But the only other video I've seen is the ads for the Los Muertos Cup that was in whatever language, where it tells the little symbols turn into like, oh, you play, you get better, all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think it'll be weird for the Australian New Zealand scene. So we just need to see what comes of it, really. How smart or how well they've thought about it.
I think
Well,
the best
no, keep going.
the best possible thing for them to possibly do that I can see is when Heroes League finals goes ahead, they have someone from Blizzard or someone scouting the top 4 teams, and that being the combine. Because if you're in a top 4 team there, that's 24 players of best in Australia that they can scout from. And if you didn't make it, well then you didn't make it.
I wonder if they'll appoint people to be scouts. They'll appoint people in the region that know the players. Because what's the fucking point from someone else from another region that just has the Blizzard tag, like, I've never fucking seen this scene before. And I'm going to say, it's you, and you, and you, and you. It's like you're going to, like, the livestock, like, to pick out sheep. And it's like, oh, this one looks fucking beefy and tasty. Like, this one, too. I like the look of its texture. He looked nice on the camera. He's got a little...
Do they pick teams, though? Like, do they pick, like, a player from, like, one team and another player from, like, another team? Is that how it works?
I don't
even have a clue.
I don't know. I think, like, if they're going to put people into the combine, they're going to have to get people who know the scene to be a scout for them. Because it's not going to work otherwise. You're going to get...
They might pick all DPS players.
I'm not going. I don't want to burn Muzelk here. We don't want another experience where we have streamers representing the best in our country. Like, like credit to him. Like, he's a hard worker. It's fucking hard to be a YouTuber. The amount of time you have to dedicate. So I got all the respect in the world for him as a YouTuber, but. It's completely different to being like the best in the world at a video game, because people got gypped, man, and feels like shit because people put a lot of time and effort every day to be good at this game, and they don't, and then you feel like Blizzard don't even care about you. They don't. Your scene doesn't mean shit when the best players aren't even up there to be voted for, and the streamer gets in because of course the streamer's going to get in. He's got 1 million subs. Yeah. Fuck, all the
Overwatch thing was just such a clown fiesta, in my opinion. Like, you had all these teams, vote in this guy, and then the South Koreans are like, well, here's our pro team, go at
they
it.
literally just go like, they just vote all their best players, and it's like, okay, win.
Like, call me unpatriotic, but I don't want to be like, oh, rally up behind Australia, let's kick it to them, boys, let's get in there. I want to be like, oh shit, I like Envious, or I like Fnatic, or I like C9. I want to see who in the entire world is the best out of all these big orgs, these big names I'm used to. I don't want to see like, oh, damn it, we lost to Finland. Oh shit. I just want to see who like out of all the teams in the world, not just playing like, oh, here's the Asian teams, here's the European teams, it's like absolutely everyone who was crowned number 1, like the international for Dota 2. We just had I forget who they called, the green people. OG won. Yeah.
Not just sending plankton off to get swallowed by a whale that is South Korea.
Pretty much.
Oh man, it was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. I was happy when they got their feet right. I don't know, the footing right. They got into their groove a little bit later, and they got a win. But
Koreans are so good though. Like, you don't realize how good they are until you actually verse them. Like, they're insane. Their coordination and shit.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about the drama, son. It's all about the win. We're all here memeing and talking shit in AZ Discord while these guys are hard at work. Get the fuck out of Discord, guys. Get to work. Bunch of bombs. Nah. It's alright, we got to meme sometimes. What else we got other than the memes? We just got memes. I don't know, man. It's a rough one. Actually, the Discord has gotten better lately. I'm going to give him some credit. Other than we just saw some nectar and money confrontations, but that just comes with our scene. That just comes with our territory, so to speak.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I love that shit. It's so entertaining. Like, when you're just bored and that shit comes about, and you just sit there and read it all.
Yeah, but I suppose that's not like harassing anyone that's new. I suppose that's not harassing anyone that's new. We know who Money is. We know who Nectar is. Just let them fight. It's like letting 2 dogs fight out in the backyard, boy. The rest of the boys having some beers, and we're just seeing the 2 dogs just go at it.
I just love how they argue, man. They just don't like do any like direct insults. They're just like fucking low key shit talking. It's so funny.
Dude, it's like rappers like putting like subliminal like lyrics in their songs.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like, but now though, I've seen less new people get trolled. Like even today, I saw, or might have been yesterday, someone goes, "Hey guys, blah blah blah, I'm you," and then people would link them to Server 76 or WatchPoint Oceania. Like that's a lot nicer than trolling them. Like, "Oh, dude, you should join my team," and just luring them into some big bullshit thing to eventually they just won't come back. So.
It's all about those the deco flowers now, Bobby. That's where it's at. It's all the bot commands local has in. You know, you got to pick up your flowers. You got to type !GNB every now and again.
What's that about, dude? Like
I don't know what the flower system is, but everyone has.
They're picking flowers.
You print like $3 signs or something, or tell you how many flowers you've got, and now there's like random pictures of flowers being posted. You got to pick them.
Is our Discord turning into Stardew Valley or something? Like, what the fuck's going on?
God, I hope so. Honestly, I just hope so.
Looking at it right now, and Sin's trying to type in pick, and then it's like, "Fuck you, bot."
It's not that pick up the flower, man. Feels bad.
I'm gonna give
this flower, man.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the next person who types in ANZ Overwatch right now. Now, what you guys type there. I'm gonna say who's the next one. Okay, it's at 6:21 right now. Can anyone make a message and you're gonna get shouted out on the podcast? That's I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds. There's one.
Before that before that Discord goes seemingly quiet.
Actually, let's.
Yeah, I feel like it would.
It's about dinner time. People are probably eating before they get their scrims on. Well, we'll talk and then we'll come back to Discord and we're going to give a shout out to the next person who posts an ANZ Overwatch that isn't one of you guys, just in case.
Damn.
You post on there. You know, you're already here. You got your shout out, mate. You got your Twitter on here.
We can bait someone to talk.
Yeah, we should bait someone to talk. We should do that right now. Here we go, Silksheet.
I got it.
Here we go. The fish is lured here. Trill's going, "Hey, lol." So you guys are gonna be like, we're in the future right now, guys. So you're gonna be hearing this, and we're talking about the past. And here we go. It's a legend himself. He's typing. It's Squizzy. And ladies and gentlemen, Squizzy, the one and only that wants it. He goes, "Did you link the solo hacking video cryptic?" And he doesn't even reply to you, Trill. He doesn't even care. You're out there to be his friend. He's just leaving you hanging. Squizzy.
Back to that drama.
Oh man, Squizzy, you had a friend willing right there for you, buddy, and you just missed the boat, and you're back off into the sea. So man, Trill, Squizzy just stood you up, bro.
Yeah, feels bad.
Alright, enough of the memes. Let's get back to the task at hand. So let's think about next week. Where's everyone going to be at? Is Fusion Girls going to come back to CG to prepare and maybe even scout out some teams before Heroes League?
Yeah. Before Heroes League, we're scrimming Australian teams, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so no CG then?
I don't know. Maybe. I got no clue.
Well, actually, I got one thing. I got something I need to ask you guys. So we've got 22 teams that signed up recently, and there's probably going to be more coming in because we've just been encouraging new teams from like Server 76, WatchPoint, all these people to get in, and it's really hard to single or limb with all these teams getting knocked off. I think I may have hashed this at the start. No, I could have done this before the actual podcast. I think I did that. I was talking about trying to think of a different method for CyberGamer. So what would you guys suggest that would be different for a weekly competition to help out the newer teams and be able to deal with the influx of teams signing up now? Does anyone got any thoughts?
I think you could keep it best of ones, but add double lim and make best of 3 finals. I know that extends how long it goes for.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth the test. Just run it for 1 week. If you get 20-something teams, gives everyone a second chance. And it shouldn't go that much longer. I think it may add like an hour or about that.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
Do you think?
I think you could use an amateur version of CG or something. Like I know it'd be hard with like prize pool that money, but like I think the second one we went into, we versed some poor lads that like no shade on anyone that's platinum or diamond out there, but they weren't like on the same sort of mechanical level as some of our players, and we beat them just based off that. And I don't think we've seen them since. And I've had a couple of people like, we want to get into it and be like competitive, but at our skill rating sort of deal. Like they want to be like, we beat these other platinum or diamond or whatever rated team, stuff like that. So I'd really want to see like in terms of like this big tournament. I mean, maybe it's bad to split it up, but just somewhere it's like, just more like...
Or like divisions or something.
Yeah, something like divisions would be really cool.
I had the the initial. Someone suggested this. This is someone from Team Reticent. So Jaws from Team Reticent messaged me. I think it was last night, and he said that maybe the people that lose in the first round or even the second round get put down into a different bracket, and everyone else continues. And like we focus the stream on the main bracket, but then everyone else that's lost gets to continue in a separate bracket, and they get like premium or something like that as a reward.
Yeah.
So I guess like that's another way to do it, because it can run as long as it wants to, and the broadcast doesn't even have to worry about it. And like any other new casters or people that want to get involved and start practicing their own streams could pick up those games themselves. So I know there's people like Shiznik, Racket. Even though Racket's probably, he can definitely hold his own casting anyway. But there's a bunch of new casters that are putting their hands up now, getting involved in all the community streams. Give it a chance for anyone else to just want to cast as well. There's always that option. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
The more people, the better. So like we're Australia, we don't have like many people.
Yeah. I think like if we had something like a CG Pro League where they do for CS, where they have like a Division 1 and top 8 teams and they play weekly, and then they have like the divisions lower. I can't remember exactly how it works, but I think that would work a lot better, where those lesser teams would be put in a bracket that are lower, like lower level teams, and then if they finish top in their bracket after, I don't know, I think it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks, they get moved up.
Yeah, they get promoted.
Yeah. Well, that was the plan anyway, to eventually transition to that. I was talking about that before the podcast, I think. But that's not until after Summer Series. Like, no one wants to clash leagues, because we're going to get this thing turned into a league. How many teams would you guys like to see? Like, so when CyberGamer transitions the weeklies into a league, how many teams would you want to see in the first division?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 seems reasonable.
You think there'll be no teams dying or big roster problems?
I think 8 or 6. I mean, the top 6, well, up until yesterday, I would have said they were pretty stable. But I mean, your top 8 are still pretty stable, besides one or two. I mean, I guess even after Heroes League, you're probably going to see probably a roster swap from a few teams, and then after that, you should see some stability.
Yeah. Well, we can at least go with 6, with like 4 people making the finals.
It's hard comparing it to CS, because CS has so much teams, like in CGA and whatever they call it now.
Yeah, it's massive. Oh man, just like going down. I remember playing back in like CS back in the days when it was CEVO before I went to CyberGamer. It's a good times playing Counter-Strike. But man, like trying to get into that scene now, it's like good luck. Like it's just a sea of people.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I love like Overwatch, because it's new and developing. You can make a difference, whereas in CS it's less of a chance to make an impact, I suppose.
That's where your boy Zen Coco went, if you remember him.
Zen Coco.
I used to play. I used to play with him on Big.
Oh yeah, I think I remember playing him. I think he played at a CG not too long ago. CGN or Custom Game Night. Yeah, I think he played in one of those recently, which is
Before Overwatch.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He hasn't touched the game in ages. He just went back to CS. He was originally really good at CS. I think he played like CGP, and then like came to Overwatch because he got bored or something, and then went back.
Is he in a team? Maybe I know him from a team then, like from a stream.
I don't know if he's in a team right now. I talk to him every now and then, and I think he might. I don't know. I can't remember. I know he subs for like Avant. Well, he did.
Do you want to see some other orgs pick up teams here, like especially with Heroes League, and would have some good coverage and good prize money? Do you know about any like orgs that are gonna try and pick up teams? Because like I know Ancient Templar, probably like it's a good team to get picked up, and Chiefs and Legacy don't have a
Chiefs
team right now.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Didn't Chiefs want to pick up a team?
Yeah, there was. They were looking to pick up one team in particular. I will rename nameless.
Yeah, I think I know too.
I think organisations will wait to see what comes of Heroes League, or if there's whatever comes through the qualifiers, stuff like that. Just because there could be a lot of memes going into it beforehand. Like I think Doctor was telling me there's one team that signed up for Heroes League that was like 12-inch flaccid or something like that. And all the credit to them, call it 12-inch flaccid all you want, but
that won't go through. They won't allow that team name. They won't do it. That
happens like
change
everywhere though. It's just smaller, like in Overwatch, so it's like more noticeable, I guess.
Like Woodcocks had to get changed to Woodkecks last season, so there's no way 12-inch flaccid's getting through. So that's why I told Smash Brother to change his name earlier on when he was Homo Demon, and then the Cuck Smashers. I was like, change your name because you're gonna get told to. At least now you got the chance to think about something. I don't think he took. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit what he says.
His names are so tough, dude. Like I like him and everything, but like Homo Demon to Smash Brother, jeez.
Wonder if they'll catch on. Well, they probably now they listen to this. So if Russell's listening to this, bad luck, Ben. You're changing your name again.
So Ben's a homie. You won't judge me, I hope.
Oh, there's so many so he comes from World of Warcraft background, and then you got Arc PD and Gumbar. They come from a World of Warcraft background, and then like you like the Woodcocks. They all came from like a Quake sort of arena,
like
sort
Dirty
of background.
Bomb and shit like that.
So what about you boys? Where did you come from, Trill? I think you were mentioning. Did you mention Counter-Strike?
I did Dota and then CS, and now I'm here.
When
I played Dota for ages.
Project, you were mentioning Dota as well, yeah?
Yeah, I played a lot of Dota 2, and then I lost touch with that after trying to climb the rank system, and then I played Rocket League. Jesus, what else have I touched? Arma for a little bit, but yeah, definitely not a FPS background.
This is the first FPS, and he was jumping on the hit scan, not even giving a fuck. There he goes. Sandbag and Apathetic, who, what did you play before that?
Oh, I came from a Korean game as a third-person arena style called Guns the Duel. If anyone knows it, give me a shout out because I actually love that game. I played it for 7 years, and I was, pretty good at it. Oh, looks like we lost Project there.
Really cool.
It wasn't very popular. Besides at its prime, like it had probably like 10k concurrent at one stage. And the thing about the game is it was a lot of animation cancelling. So you had like sick movement you could do. And like you just basically use shotguns and kind of like Quake with the movement, except it was more insane, and the Koreans were god at it.
Yeah.
Koreans are gods at everything besides Counter-Strike, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's not popular there.
Yeah. Wait, can you hear us, Project? I saw like a. Your video's not up.
Let me try.
It's loading.
Must have dropped out somehow.
Yeah. Rip.
I might have to get. I was just fucking wiping dust off the keyboard and press something like a doofus.
Oh, you'll be fine, mate. Everyone's just gonna have a look at the mouse swirl. It's been like an hour anyway, so they know what you look like. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
they can tune in.
Well, it's been about an hour, so like, what's anything else you guys want to talk about before we slowly start wrapping things up? Because I know you guys got scrims on soon.
Blizzard needs to do something about cheaters in Korea.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's pretty awful at the moment trying to play Korea.
Didn't 10,000 people just get recently banned?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was seeing Turmo playing on Australia like recently because of all the cheaters.
Oh,
I was watching Cantus, and it was awful before the 10,000.
Cheaters are insane, man.
And then he was like, oh, I think somebody mentioned it, or they wrote up the post of, 10,000 people have been banned. And then Cantus was playing for a day, no hackers. I come back the next day to watch his stream, and there's just hackers everywhere, man. I was like,
it literally doesn't matter, man.
I forget why they do. It's because they
some shit because of the PC bangs, or whatever.
Yeah, the PC cafes give them an account or something, and they can just hack on it, and then they didn't have to buy Overwatch. They just register a North American account or something, because their Korean account or their Asian account is actually.
They like buy it from like Blizzard or something. Like I don't know. Don't know.
It's some system where they can basically just get away with it easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, if they can just get like a bodyguard, like someone to watch over everyone in PC bongs while they play. They're not just cheating. They get their fingers broken.
I was thinking, like, I wonder if it's like they like get away with it, like playing, like everyone's there, like they can see you fucking cheating.
just
Well,
don't-
isn't it like illegal to actually make hacks in Korea or something? Because there was a huge
Yeah.
problem with all.
Oh, really?
It's a
Okay.
law now, but
Yeah.
like, no one's being charged with anything yet, from what I
Yeah.
know.
They're like,
I
screw
mean,
that
I don't
shit.
know. I haven't looked into any how to anti-hack systems, but yeah, something to catch obviously be better rather than
Like,
force it onto
I mean,
distribute.
Solo didn't get banned. That kind of like he blatantly cheated for like
Yeah.
days.
Oh, man. I'm not even gonna get into solo stuff. I'm just.
Yeah. I
It's.
think he's gone now anyway.
I think it would also
He's
resolve.
still around.
It would
Ah.
also resolve a lot of community witch hunts that seem to be prone here and there. If it was some way that, oh, Blizzard did catch him and that's the end of the story, rather than, holy fuck, did you see this guy's aim and stuff like that. Just help out a lot with that.
Speaking of witch hunts, like what happened to Hot Dog Heroes?
Oh, Modify. Is that his name? Modify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? to
I
him?
don't know. I actually don't know.
Doctor gave me a bit of the story and basically said he had to go review the footage with something like Vit or something in tow and look over it. And
I knew that, but like, what happened to like where are they now? Like, where are the players? Like, where's Modified? Like, where did they go?
Uh,
I don't know. Eh?
They were,
we scrimmed them once or twice. And
Are they
then
still a
that was
team?
month ago.
Or
I don't know. Like, I haven't seen
Thought
any of
they
the
blew
players.
that?
yeah, I'm not sure.
Is it that uncommon for an Australian team to just like disappear off the face of the earth?
Well,
Nice.
sometimes the players just go on the team. I think Decker was on that side, and then he's playing for someone that's in the top 10. He might be on. No, he's not on Boone's Goons. He's on. I'm sorry, Decker. I know if you're listening.
Yeah, I've scrimmed him a couple times, so I should probably know. But yeah,
Because Vicello was always around in the scene, so it's weird not seeing him playing on a team. Well,
Is he not in Hot Dog Heroes?
yeah, he was in Hot Dog Heroes, but I haven't seen them play in quite a while.
That's true.
And what's happening with like Jim M and Doza? Are they coming back? I heard these rumblings, these rumors about them playing with the old
Doz
team.
is always telling me he's meant to come back. Like he's saying he's got some teams or some shit. I don't know if he's just talking shit.
They were playing on a team. I think it was MW1. There was Jim Evan, Zero, and a few others. And I think that team died
Rip.
after scrims with
It's
us.
bad, man. How do people
Jesus.
just die after scrims, man? I guess
We-
people
we-
don't get along, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you have a bad night of scrims and teams just disband for some reason.
Yeah,
They play to win rather than play to learn.
yeah, exactly.
So can people just agree for Heroes League? It's only a couple of weeks, guys. It's nothing crazy. Like a bit under 2 months. Just stick to your teams. Just stick to your teams.
yeah.
No swapping around. No snaking players. And
Remember when
whispering.
Arcudi said to keep your players and not kick them? Fucking Arcudi. Big idiot.
Yeah. Well, it's he copped the punishment. You guys copped it on the chin, and that's all water under the bridge now. I suppose we all
before I
learning from
joined-
our mistakes now.
Before I joined Kick or Be Kicked, I was asking people, because I heard stories of Gumber, obviously. Everyone knows, his old and rage and shit. Everyone didn't like him on a team stuff, so I was, asking people, oh, what is he like in that? People were telling me not to do it, but I'm glad I did.
Oh, yeah, well, number one team. So
Yeah.
it worked out pretty well for you, mate. But this time around, guys, we all know how Spring Series turned out, and it's just they got to be hosted by Ghosty Gamers, so it had a nice influx of viewers, but we didn't have all the best teams, and we don't want that happening again. It would just kind of suck that we got this big 10K tourney. We pretty much got a second chance at life here in the scene until Blizzard come around with something. We should just all try to not jump across onto any other teams. If you don't like your team, just stick with them until the end of Heroes League, because you're not realistically, you're probably not going to be able to get on another team without fucking things around for someone else. So
It's just a bit hard if like actual players don't get along. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like something drastic. If you leave a team, you just
Yeah.
fuck up the 5 other people rather than
that
just
is true. It's like pretty
Yeah,
selfish.
yeah, that's just like like Heroes League is like a big. Oh, I mean, for Ancient Templar, like we made a team, and then like a week into it, I was like, well, what do we do besides CG? And then Doctor was like, no, you just do CG, and I was like, oh, okay, which isn't a bad
it's not
thing. I mean,
much.
CG is a good night, but yeah, it's just nice to have something else to sort of aim for, and helps with motivation of like, hey, this is what you can aim for to win Heroes League or to win CG as well. It just fills up the scene. So if like.
Yeah.
I feel like if a lot of teams are just disbanding and then you just see Jam, Tempo, Fusion Girls are just the same teams that go into it, it won't really help to promote the scene. Whereas like there's a great story of like Yes Men, oh they came into the scene and they became #1 in Heroes League, and it was just like it's such a nice story, just to sort of hear that, and it just sort of brings everyone else that holy shit if they did it, what stops us?
Yeah.
yeah, that's like my favorite part, especially like being like a caster. Like you guys get to, do the hard grind of trying to win and everything. So I get the enjoyment of piecing together a story to tell like on the air. So that's my favorite part. Like that's besides like seeing people happy, and people saying thank you or whatever. Like one of the other biggest motivation is like being able to like tell a story. Like like when okay, I'm gonna tell this story for people here. When the whole spring series thing happened, I told you guys just before on the air. I can probably mention it now. It's all people have probably skimmed over or listened to Crysis's vlog. I mysteriously disappeared from the spring series. Like I was casting all of GameStar since Jamstar, so I mysteriously disappeared. Like Crysis and I didn't really see eye to eye. I don't really want to go like too far into it, but we disagreed on several things. And one day I got told I'm no longer needed to cast there, and that was pretty fucking rough. Like I don't care about money. Like even with Heroes League, I just told them I don't give a shit about money. I'd come over there just to cast. Like clearly that's
Yeah.
not really the case. Like even with something like ESL or whatever, it's not like not the case. But I just wanted to cast. Like I even when I was, when I first started out, like I didn't care like how bad I was. I just wanted to learn. I copped a lot to begin with, and I started from the beginning, so I got to see all these teams from the very start. So you kind of get attached to it, and you want to tell the story and be there for everyone, and you start becoming friends with everyone. You want to be there. And someone's kind of, I don't know, I kind of just like took that role upon myself to make sure I'm going to be there, to try and be there for every single tournament, kind of try and help out as much as I can. And then being told I can't do that really fucking sucked. And I didn't know what to do for a while because there wasn't really anything to cast that was like what all my favorite teams were playing in. So I kind of like I didn't know whether I was going to do it anymore. So I just really thought about it. I kind of just try to avoid even coming on the computer, even just to have a look at like people playing and the games to streams, because it's like hard to watch, man. Like when I was like I cast that from the get-go, right from the start, it was really hard to listen to and hear other people casting games. That I had my without my voice on it, because like I was always there. I was always helping in like production meetings, like even like running production meetings and getting starting assigning like who's casting what, and I really missed that whole thing, just like organizing and being a part of the whole thing. Like it really sucked. So I really had to like swallow my pride, and I did all the ES. Like I was still got ESL, which was like once every 2-3 weeks. It wasn't really a lot. It was like an awesome day, but it's like 7 to 8 hour day. It's like, oh shit. Like I'll still like do it, but I just said like I'm going to look forward to like Heroes League. I'm going to I'll focus on doing that. And I started like practicing again, and still talking to people, and then picked up the CG thingy when it started with. Masterminds really helped me out to begin with, because no teams are signing up to CG. It was like dead. Yeah, it didn't run for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It was really dire, and I was like, okay, trying to breathe some life into this bitch. And Mastermind said like, we'll jump on. Like Polte said, he was really good about it, and he said like, I'm gonna get the boys to sign up. And we managed to get 4 teams on. I casted that night, so it had semi-finals and final. That was it. and we had Syria join me. And Syria, God bless him, like he jumped on because all the other boys, it was a Tuesday night and they would end up casting games to that night. So Xenox and Genome Doctor, everyone knows like I love casting with those boys, and they were all doing the game Spring Series that night. I was like, oh fuck, all my boys are doing that, and I got no one. This is before anyone else from like all these other 76 casters that come up through server 76. There was no one. I was like, shit, like Haverl and Pixie, they get paid to cast other games. So they're busy. So I was like, oh, fuck, what do I do? And Syria said, I'll come help you cast, man. And it was a bit rough to begin with, but, we got through it. And then, like, the next week, we managed to get 5 teams. And, it rolled on from that. Like, some of the boys started coming on Tuesdays now. The schedule started freeing up, and that eventually coming from like 5 teams. The third week it was 6, and then Fusion Girls, so like Jam back then said they were going to start signing up, and I think it was 2 Minutes One Noodle. They agreed to sign on. Love Shack and god damn, I think Skyfire as well. When did you guys start playing? So you guys are Jam now, Apathetic. When was the first one that you jumped on?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
When was the first CyberGamer that you jumped on?
As Jam, we played, I think, the one before, because I was away for holidays.
No, but before you went away,
all of December. Yeah, I went away.
I'm telling the story of like how CyberGamer like started coming alive.
Oh, I don't think we were there at the start. When we joined, it was like 16 teams.
Oh, okay.
You guys did most of the hard work.
So that like rolled around, especially like when like Jam like Fusion Girls like signed up, like that was like it, like everyone wants like you have to come here on Tuesday nights. You can't, because everyone was like, well, what's the point of playing when we could just scrim better teams? But as soon as Fusion Girls made themselves unavailable and Masterminds are unavailable, and then 2 Minutes One Noodle are unavailable, people were like, well, we have to go play, and went from like 8 teams to like 12 teams, and then next thing we know, there was like 18 or 17 teams one week, and then it just kept staying above like 14 plus, and now we got 22, and like everything, it's fine. Like Fusion Girls, they don't even need to play anymore. Like they've done their bit, and we're getting 22 teams. Like shit's all good.
CG is good though. It's like a more serious scrim night. Like people take it a lot more serious. Like tournament and scrim, like the atmosphere is a lot different.
So yeah, it's like a whole point of my thing. If I didn't go through that whole shit period where I couldn't continue with the Spring Series, I wouldn't have put so much time into trying to help CyberGamer and I don't know, like help everything else. So it kind of like kicked me up the arse, and I've worked a lot harder behind the scenes ever since I wasn't with games doing games to tournaments anymore. So
I think it also deserves a big shout out to people like you, Bobby, and Doctor, in that, like,
yeah, for sure.
I remember back in Abyss, like, I had the NBN, so I was like, oh, sure, guys, I'll take recordings of these, and I think I lasted like 2 days before, like, I'm like, as a player, I was like, holy fucking shit, I am, like, no offense to Apathetic or any of the guys on Abyss, loved them, but I was just like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done. So just like for Doctor and Bobby and all that, just to like get out there, spend their own free time. Like as players, it's easy, like, oh, why are you at CG? Oh, so I can play the game. But like for Bobby and Doctor, to like have that motivation and that like level of just like this, without it, it would be like fucking boring to watch. Like it promotes it, and it's just like so good that people out there are just willing to like put in that little bit of extra behind, I guess you call it behind the scenes work of just like, yeah, I mean for Doctor it's like he goes over VODs with us, he records all our VODs, and I've just like, I'm just not sure if the man's not all there in the head or something, because he just stories like shit I would just consider so boring, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's like a shadow, we just can't get rid of him. But nah, God love Doctor and Bobby for casting and all that. It just, yeah, it's so great.
This actually a good unit, man. Like he does so much work actually, like for these teams. Like he made your team, right? And then I think isn't he making another one or helping?
Yeah, he's making Nut Factory, yeah.
Like, and he actually like helps you guys out and gives you shit.
Yeah,
like,
he's the team obviously wouldn't be here without Doctor's hand and things, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's a special dude. Like he's gonna go places. He'll end up somewhere. I guarantee you, in 2-3 years, he'll be working full time for like an esports company, 100%. Like that guy, you can't deny people that have the drive. It's just one way or another.
He puts in work, man.
Yeah. Even like Xenox and Geno. That's why I cast with those boys, because this is like what we want to do. Like we want to be casters. And this is the way you do it. You have to grind. You have to create something out of nothing. You have to be there for the players. You have to earn their respect, and you got to know that you're in it with them. And it's like a partnership. Like we can't cast without you guys, and you can't be on stream without us. So you need each other. And once you're there each week, everyone's kind of like in the trenches. We're in the underground right now. Where everyone's grinding away. You guys are grinding away at scrims, and we're grinding away at practice and casting, and trying to organize things behind the scenes for teams. So everyone's playing their part. So it's like a big group effort. So that's why like I can't like back away from the scene. Like I go to sleep thinking about shit that I gotta do the next day for Overwatch, and then I wake up and then like it's the same shit like every day. Like that's all I want to do. Like I don't really worry about it anything else in my life. So, like really, like everything else just falls into place. Like this is what's fun to me. Like this is what I like doing. So. I can't wait to like the Overwatch League to start in 2018, and we get to be all in the APAC region. Because we have 2017 where we get one or two teams, but 2018 something shit gets real for everyone here, and I want to see like everyone get through the combine, see everyone like on the big stage. That'd be the dream. So hopefully it becomes a reality for everyone.
Heroes League's gonna be sick because like it's actually like a decent Australian tournament, and I didn't get to play in GameStar, so I feel like I missed out. It'd be sick to play.
Man, those guys have been the easiest people I've worked with. Like I was really worried because I've had problems with what I've just talked about. I was really worried when I started talking to them. I didn't know what was going to happen because I do this, like out of because I want to do it. I get worried that the same shit's going to happen, but. Those guys have been the best I've ever spoken to out of any organizer, like especially and Steve from CyberGamer as well. Like Sidenote's been nothing but supportive for me, but and the other boys as well. But these like Heroes League guys, Russell. Like every time I need to talk about anything, like he's always very transparent with me. They're all honest and they're all very supportive of us. And they're willing to help us out as much as they can, just like they're there for all the other teams as well. So. If you think like if anyone's ever frustrated with them, just give them their time and space because they're doing this shit every day. They're working around the clock right now to get things prepared for the summer series. It's a big production in their studio, so it's the biggest thing we've had so far. So just be patient with them, and we got. It's going to be good. It's going to be lots of fun, and everyone's going to enjoy themselves. As soon as we get things started, if everything kicks off, everyone's going to forget about the wait. And it's going to be so much fun, and everyone's going to be playing all these big league games on the stream. Everyone's going to get their stuff on there, and hopefully we get a lot of viewers, man, as well. Like I want, we like CyberGamer. What's that? It's getting in the it's hitting the 200 mark now.
Oh
yeah, I've seen it. It's growing for sure. Every time.
We just cut
each week, there's just more people. Oh.
Yeah. CG gets a scarier, man, if you think about like but that time for Overwatch is like you've got Calvin and stuff on, of course, but then it like dips, so it'd be like top 6 definitely when CyberGamer gets going. You just need to start giving away mugs. I think is the next big. You just mug there.
Mugs.
Maybe even rig it so like one particular player could win it above all others. I don't know. That's just a crazy idea. I mean,
we'll see what Steve wants to do with that, but.
It's growing slowly, that's for sure.
You can imagine like Heroes League will put some like they're gonna market the shit out of their stream. Like it's gonna go. I don't know. They're gonna push it as hard as they can, and I'm really keen for that. Well, it's almost 7 o'clock, so it's pretty close for you guys to start scrimming soon. So, anything you guys want to say before we wrap stuff up?
Hero League qualifiers this weekend. Make sure to tune in. It'll be interesting to see what teams play and qualify.
This is going to be fun. And what about else? What about you other boys?
Shout out to Doctor, of course, as one of his nuts. It definitely been a wild ride. Yeah, I think that's about all I've got. Yeah, tune into Heroes League definitely this weekend. Thanks for reminding me, Apathetic, that it's this weekend. Yeah, I think it definitely helps if more people get behind it, right? And it's more likely that more shit like this actually turns up. So I think it's a big key, and like it's a huge amount of community involvement. Where if we like push it together, I mean, I don't want to get too friendly, but if everyone backs it all and we all group together, I'm sure we can turn this scene into a nice, lively one and have more events like these, and it'll become easier in the future.
And you,
Yeah,
Trill?
shout out to my team. Hopefully we can show what we've been working on Korea, our scrims, and bring it in Heroes League.
It's going to be good fun. I love it all. So thank you for all three of you for joining me here today. So Apathetic, Trill, and of course Project. And much love to all the casters. So Pixie, Avril, Genome, Xenox, and Doctor. Also Racket, Oshiznik, and Beck now that has started casting. So I'm supporting all you guys, and I wish the best for all the casters, and much love to everyone at Heroes League with Russell, Kenneth, and the other Russell as well. We've got 3 Russells are over, and they're going to be working for Overwatch. I'm keen to get Doctor and Russell from Big Boss Man from Heroes League on one podcast, because they've both got the same name, but like one's called, like one of them's Russell's their first name, the other one's Russell's their last name, the other one's Daniel is the first name, and then Daniel's the last name of the other guy. It's just
Oh my god!
I really want them both on the same podcast. It's going to be hilarious. But other than that, make sure all you guys check out OC Overwatch with all their power rankings, different articles, looking for teams, looking for scrims, and then also if you're looking for scrims, you go to Server 76 as well. They've got their scrim ladder, so if you're a new team or a development team starting out, so go to their Discord. Koth is always willing to help anyone that wants to get involved with the scene. He's very instrumental over there, and he's always helped me out and gave me his time of day when I needed to speak to him. Shout out to Big Ronnie and Ronnie's Custom Gear. Heroes League, of course. I've just already mentioned pretty much all of those guys. WatchPoint Oceania CGN is back on this Saturday, so be sure to sign up to that because sign-ups fill up pretty quick. They're doing back-to-back weekends because they skipped one over the course of the holidays. So much love to Xenox, Switch, and all the boys there. And Sneb, and Brock, and Silver. I think I'm probably missing a bunch of people. So much love to all you guys and everyone who joins in on my practice casts and of the scrims every couple of days or a couple of days throughout the week. So I'll be doing that again tonight, but you probably that's not going to make any sense because this would probably come out during I'm already casting. So yeah, that's pretty much it, everyone. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that bullshit, Brofist, PewDiePie, all that crap. Yeah, it definitely helps, like when you if you're subscribed and or following my Twitch, and it helps motivate me if I'm seeing like extra people on. I get a little bit more excited when I'm casting or whatever. But that's pretty much it. Much love for your support. Retweet, all that sort of crap. Thanks for you boys. I'll see you all next week. Peace.